We are back on the Cowboys Report live because the Micah Parsons trade request is indeed official. We will stay live as long as I feel like it, frankly. I got nothing else I actually have to get to today. Things I should get to, things I don't have to get to. Not good! I don't know what else to say on that front. This one is official. The Diana Rossini reporting, the buzz behind the scenes was real. There was a reason we were able to get the Diana Rossini video out so fast. Like, I heard this last night too, that this was something Micah was considering and he was going to sleep on it. Guess he slept on it. He's requested the trade officially from the Dallas Cowboys. There's still a lot to actually get through and figure out, but it's not good. It's not. Give me your one-word reaction to the Micah Parsons trade request. Bad is a good one. Messy. Classic. Cowboys done fucked up. There's no way around it. I am going to swear today. I'm going to break my, if your kids are awake, that's on you. The kids are at school. It's summer, but they're not. So, yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. What's up, Chris?
I just can't believe we've gotten to this point, honestly. I understand the Cowboys, they do their thing. They take long and, they talk crap about their players and all this stuff. But, I just thought it was going to kind of be this back and forth, nitpicky thing, back and forth with each other. And then, like you always say, the Cowboys will fold. Well, Micah Parsons is pushing them to that point. They're either going to trade him or, it's to that point now where he's putting the pressure back on them, I feel
in a way that no one else has done before, really.
Yes.
CD didn't do this, although he considered it too. Dak never went about it this way. It's just Zeke never really went about it this way. It's messy because the Jones boys have shot themselves in the foot repeatedly here. They have not handled this well. I think we can say Micah hasn't handled it well either, but this is not actually a hard contract to do, but they've let themselves get their feelings hurt. That's what's happened here. They've allowed themselves to let their money get mad again, which is a classic Cowboys thing. Cowboys doing it with Trayvon Diggs. It's not good. There's some disaster scenarios that exist. I don't want anyone to pretend. I think it is two things are here. One path is this is Myles Garrett 2.0. Path two is it's Khalil Mack 2.0. We can believe that it'll end up working out. The Cowboys will cave. They'll pay Mike on September 1st, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. We don't have to pretend that this is a good thing, though. I've seen that already out there. That it wasn't you guys. People online were telling me that the deal was already done. This was all a marketing ploy. No, it wasn't. This got negative. It got negative. Fully did. Here's what Micah Parsons posted on Twitter about his trade request. I've actually not even read through this one time yet. So this is the first time I'm actually reading it through. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy, wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in the hopes of getting something done. But since there's some confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that. I did not complain and focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other passengers got deals. Or deals got, I think is what it meant. I think he had a typo in there. Clearly, he wrote it, by the way. There's actually typos in there. At the 2024 season. After the year, I told my agent, once again, let the team know we were open to negotiate. Oh, we got to that one already. I think it jumped back to you on that one, Chris. We did that one already. Anyway, again, sorry, we got a little bit lost here. We've not looked through this yet. This one. Okay, my agent informed me I should wait to get the deals done. I want to secure myself long-term as a Cowboy. This was before any guys got deals. I knew I'd be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow, the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth with regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. Well, my agent worked out and spoke to Adam Pacifica. That's who that is, by the way. He was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him wasn't that the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decide they want to talk. Yet, not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet, but again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. So that's where we sit. CeeDee Lamb, by the way, tweeted out just now. Maybe we can build a social on this, Chris. Never fails, dog. Pay the man what you owe him. No need for the extracurricular. Vibes are high, right? This is what annoys me. So every fan base tells everyone else, man, we got to play against the other team and the refs. The Cowboys are one of maybe 2 or 3 organizations that get to tell their fan bases, we got to play against the other team, the refs, and our own ownership group. That's bad. It's not good. This is a bad situation. We don't need to pretend otherwise. It's not good. And it's frustrating because we continue to do this over and over and over again. Every single year, the player that everyone wants to pay, that the Cowboys claim they want to pay, they just find a way to screw it up and drag it out. That's what keeps happening here. Happened with CeeDee Lamb. Happened 4 times with Dak Prescott. This is the culture shit. I feel bad for Brian Schottenheimer tomorrow. He's going to go up there, and he's going to have to answer questions. The Jones boys aren't. This was never a hard contract to do. I have the screenshots of when we were talking about the secret meeting back in March. I said, hey, just because one side thinks they're close doesn't mean he thinks another's close. That's where we're at. The just desire to not get this stuff done is insane to me. It's insane. It never should have reached this point. Never should have reached this point. The players are frustrated. The players are not happy with ownership. That's not a good thing. We can try to sugarcoat it and not make it pretend, it'll be fine. It's not. This isn't good. It's okay to think that they'll figure it out later and Jerry will call Micah and they'll make the deal happen, whatever. Why has it got to this point again? Why? By the way, not you guys. A lot of people owe Diana Rossini an apology. I saw the messages that were being sent around. I am aware of what was going on there. A lot of you guys owe apologies. She was right. Everything she wrote was true. It's the same stuff I heard last night when I built the damn show last night and did all the post-prod for it, because those whispers were there. We'll get to some super chats. First, give me your one-word reaction to the Micah Parsons trade request. I did cook up a super chat menu, honestly, so I can get a little bit drunk today. I'll be honest. That's why I did it. $20 for a shotty. We do have one. If when you guys can go grab the vodka bottle in the fridge. $20 for a shotty. $50 for a beer bong. And our old friend Mr. Toaster's back. He never left the office for my own mental health reasons. So Mr. Toaster is here. $100. We'll put your name on the toaster. Maybe one day we'll auction it off. We got William Cook on there, and McJowers is on there as well.
I think you got to go back and you got to find that video that you tweeted last time with the toaster, because that is a masterpiece.
Hey, also for the record, I was right that Zeke was washed. I'm just going to throw it out there too. I was right. Not everyone agreed. He was washed. So $20 for the shoddy, 50 for the beer bong, 100 to put your name on the toaster. Sam was already asking to take a toaster bath. I don't know. I mean, there's an outlet here, but I refuse to plug it in because this is the one that did go in the bathtub full of water. I'm sure it's dry, but what if it's not? You know? All right, Chris B. Seeing Jordan Schultz tweet saying front offices are laughing at the Cowboys for this. This team is screwed now and forever. Hard to be a fan. Again, you can go back and look at like the Micah quotes. It wasn't mentioning Jerry. He was mentioning Steven and Adam Pacifica. Like, those are the guys that have been in charge of this negotiation, and they just suck at their jobs. Adam Pacifica, the LinkedIn screenshot lives out there somewhere. The dude was a fucking Applebee's server before he got the Dallas Cowboys job. That actually I think it was Applebee's. Let me pull it up here. Let me find the Pacifica LinkedIn. I know I can find it.
Jerry must have liked the wing deal that they do on Tuesdays.
I guess. He just, I can find it here. Where is it? I got to find the LinkedIn. I know it's here somewhere. I know that the Twitter exists somewhere as well. I just got to find it. Because he is not good at his job. Like, he's been here for a long time, and I think he deserves a lot more. He's Stephen Jones' buddy, is how that one went down. So, let me find it. Yeah, he was. I got the tweet here. Hold on. I want to make sure I say it properly since I may have spread false information. Sorry, Marketplace Grill. He went from Marketplace Grill to director of salary cap and player contracts.
So not even Applebee's.
Like, that's what he did. Him and Stephen Jones, who hasn't had a real job in his life, handling that. Jason, why? It's the Cowboys being stupid? I don't know. Matt Temple, $20. This is a shoddy here. Cheers. I can respect Jerry as a self-made billionaire, but Steven would even cut it as a manager at McDonald's. He wouldn't. I don't. My arrow. Everyone's mad. This is why I call them the Jones boys. Like, this is not just a Jerry Jones thing. Like, I think this is a situation that's just like, Steven's probably worse. Like, everyone's like, get rid of Jerry. I'm like, I think Steven is actually worse than Jerry. It's extremely concerning.
We were talking about this too before we went live. Like, I wonder if Jerry like puts his foot down at this point. He's like, Steven, you had your time. Quit effing around. Get it done.
Micah making this one like so public, I think does like change things a little bit here. Like, I said this on the video today. The idea that the Cowboys actually thought that they could get a 9-figure deal done with Micah Parsons without going to the agent is just stupid. Like, it doesn't, like, that was never a reality that was possible. It was never going to happen. It was stupid to think it could happen. Jackson, $5. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. We're all better GMs than, and when you guys say Jerry, I'm just going to go with Jones boys, than the Jones boys at this point. Yeah, I don't disagree. I also got to add these $5 super chats into the George Pickens raffle that maybe people kind of don't want to win anymore. But that's where we're at. William Cook, $5 as well. Jerry feels betrayed and is allowing his emotions to get in the way of improving the team. Pure and simple stubbornness. Again, Jones boys. I think they do feel betrayed, but it's also like, I don't know. It's kind of like being mad at something that, like, wasn't ever really an option in the first place. Like, this idea that the Cowboys actually thought they could negotiate a deal with Micah that didn't involve the agent. I put that on the video when we first mentioned the secret meeting between Micah and the Jones boys. Like, it was never in the cards. You were never going to be able to make that happen. Like, if you actually believe that, they're dumber than I think that they are. You're not operating in reality. It's like you get mad at your boss for not giving you a 7-figure salary. Well, you're a waiter. Like, no, like you're not operating with anything that makes any sense at all. It's just I don't understand it. So I didn't pee before this, and that was a huge mistake on my part. Okay. So you want to just hop on here and do the super chats, and I'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
It's a frustrating day. So I'll be back in a second. Chris will take over on the super chat sides. Billy, if you want to slide over. I think it looks weird otherwise. Yeah, there you go. Back in a second. I got to go pee. 2-for-1 beer bongs for 50s if they come in.
You guys heard it.
Peeing.
2-for-1 beer bongs, $50 a piece. Let's see. Gabriel Oren saying this might be my 13th reason why. Yeah, I mean it's just so like you guys know at this point. Like I didn't grow up a Cowboys fan, but doing this the past 2 years, seeing Tom's passion about it, I've gotten a little bit more passionate about the Cowboys, and it's really that passion grows for my just despise. And at this point, it's not even Jerry anymore. I think Jerry's kind of past things now. It's really Steven. He's just like his ego is so big. It is so big. He thinks he has all the right decisions. And obviously, every single time you get a player that is any kind of decent, that needs to get a big contract, that deserves to get paid, whether that's CD, whether that's Dak, whether you agree with the Dak thing or not, Micah Parsons is a guy that is on the track for a Hall of Fame career. You pay those guys. And, maybe it's kind of the same thing right now that, Myles Garrett went through where he had to go out there and request a trade to get paid. Maybe it's that same kind of thing right now, but, Toad French in there saying Trey Hendrickson, it's the same situation with him as well. But Micah Parsons even younger, and he's arguably better, like for his age anyways. Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks and everything like that, but it's crazy, man. I agree with you, Gabriel. If I was like that on the Cowboys, like diehard Cowboys fan, it would be my 13th reason why as well. $5 here from William. We'll make sure that one also gets in the George Pickens jersey raffle. Write that down so I don't forget here. Said, I was hoping not to see that toaster again. Yeah. I mean, we never threw the toaster away. We never got rid of it because we just knew this was going to be the same thing over. It was just a matter of time. Obviously that was a different situation with Zeke when we were using it, but fits the same bill here. Appreciate the $5 here there, William. Donald coming in with another $5 super chat, saying you think they offer him a contract, we will take it, with him saying he no longer wants to be here. That's a good point. That's a good point. Like we said, one of our other guys, Reed, actually made that quote graphic. We didn't actually me and Tom didn't get a chance to actually read it until we read it to you guys. The fact that Micah said he doesn't even want to be here anymore is kind of mind-blowing to me, just because of the fact that he's always, through this entire process, he's been like, look, the Dallas Cowboys is where I want to be. I want to be a Dallas Cowboy. And the fact that he's at this point now where he says he doesn't want to be a Dallas Cowboy is kind of crazy to me. It really is, because he's one of these leaders on the team. And speaking to that as well, Jerry and Steven, their whole thing about Micah was they wanted him to come into training camp. They wanted him to be present. They wanted him to lead during training camp. He has come out here and he has done all the right things. He has done all the things that they have asked him to do. And we are still at this point where it's not even like an argument in negotiations. They are just not willing to negotiate at all. At all. Like, how do you expect to get anything done at all? It just makes absolutely no sense. And I know Tom's got more on this as well.
I'm frustrated. I just I know William said he didn't want to see the toaster again, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's here. Let me get Dalton into the jersey raffle, too. Good thing it wasn't a Micah Parsons jersey raffle.
Right.
We would just pivot it to something else altogether. That's actually not that big of an issue.
And then William had another one there as well.
I think I saw William not see the toaster. I got William in there twice. Let's go back to Dalton real quick. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything important on that front. Know this. Contract, I think I'm saying he wants to be here. Look, I think in the end, $42 million a year cures a lot of issues. Money ain't everything. Money doesn't make the marriage last in the 5 years from now. But that's how it goes.
That's if they pay him, though. I genuinely feel at this point like they are more butthurt, the Jones boys, than I have ever seen them before. And like, do you think that vibe is more negative than it's ever been before?
Probably. I think there are elements that of this whole thing that maybe there's even kernels of truth of why the Cowboys have a right to be frustrated, but they haven't handled this right at any step of the way. Every step there's been a mistake. Thomas says, you said Micah could handle this better. How so? I think probably not going to the Joneses in the first place. What I think happened here, and this is what I said weeks ago, I think the Cowboys, I think this has essentially been proven true with what both sides have said essentially through their leaks and public statements. The Joneses thought they could go around the agent, and they could kind of change this they get taken to the woodshed attitude. The Cowboys' history when it comes to big contracts are one of two things. They bluff, they drag it out, and then they cave. And I think that they thought, well, if we can bypass the super agent, David Mulugheta, who they know who that is, despite what Jerry might say, unless the dementia really is that bad, then, well, we can change it around us and we can get an actual real contract win and kind of get some good vibes going. That was never realistic, though. I think Micah thought, well, if I negotiate with Jerry, we got a good relationship. I can get the ball rolling earlier, and it didn't happen. There's been, I think at times players have been upset about the podcast stuff with Micah. I do think that's true. I think if the Cowboys were actually bothered by that stuff, though, then they could have traded him in March. You go back to what we said in the offseason plan: pay Micah or trade him. By letting this drag out into August, now you're screwed no matter what you do. You either cave and pay the player, and okay, big time money. Again, you look like idiots for just letting it get to that point, and it's the same outcome. You don't pay him, and you do the franchise tag stuff, but now you're further along, and you're kind of now you have a disgruntled player. It's messy. Micah doesn't really have any leverage. I think it's pretty clear he is actually trying to get paid, but there's a lot of hurt feelings in this. Because again, it's stupid that we've gotten to the hurt views side thing. It's annoying. Now, Micah has officially requested a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. He posted that on social media, on Twitter specifically. Left the comments on, which I was kind of surprised he did. Sometimes those get turned off when he makes the post there. Stephen Jones, this is some more background stuff that was going to be in our video later today if this didn't come true. Stephen said we want to pay Micah too. He's got to want to be paid. Dallas Morning News, I think it was Joe Hoyt, reported Micah did not like that comment. Micah called Stephen, and Stephen apologized to Micah for said comment. And now we're at the point where the talks have been so non-existent that we're just kind of stuck here doing nothing. The Cowboys are probably going to sign an offensive lineman today, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. So will the Cowboys, I'll make this the pin poll, by the way, I mentioned it earlier. Will the Cowboys actually pay Micah or trade Micah Parsons? Y for yes, N for no. I don't think so, at least not this year. I don't think the timing is, you messed up your timing. Because again, the Cowboys have failed in this entire process. If you wanted to trade Micah, you should have done it before the combine. That was the time to do it. That was also the time to pay Micah. But you're not getting the Herschel Walker package, especially not in August. It's not going to happen for you. And also, that first round pick becomes less valuable because you don't know where it's going to go. It's probably going to be a later first round pick. So now you're not getting great value. It's bad, and the players know it's not good. CeeDee Lamb is out there publicly advocating in favor of paying Micah Parsons. DeMarvion Overshown, Wanye Thomas, all those guys have changed. They changed their profile picture to Micah Parsons because he had talked with them about it and why he was upset beforehand. I don't think they trade him. I would not be surprised if this ends up being a kumbaya scenario in September, but it's messy. It's bad. No one's done this before in recent memory for the Jones boys. No one does actually just trade me. Bad. This is the Super Chat menu on today's show. $20 for a shotty, $50 for the beer bong, $100 will put your name on Mr. Toaster. I got a different name for it when we first brought it out, but it's Mr. Toaster, which is how it goes. So that is the Super Chat menu. Again, we'll stay live as long as everyone wants to stay live, and especially as long as Super Chats are coming in. Chris B, look at Calvin Watkins' tweets. It sounds like Steven called Parsons' agent. They didn't answer, and well, unfortunately. I actually think you need to go back and reread it. It is not very well explained and formatted by Calvin Watkins, who may have taken a bit of an L in the Trayvon Diggs reporting too. It's two separate thoughts. Stephen Jones was on the phone as the front office talked. After the discussion, Stephen says no comment to Calvin Watkins. Separate statement, the calls from Watkins to Parsons and his agent were not returned. So that's what that is. It's poorly worded by an older reporter who, maybe didn't have the best formatting on Twitter there. But that's how it goes. Also, Cowboys said they will not be having a response to Micah's trade request. So, I mean, I'm actually okay with that one. I don't know what they're supposed to say. Like, at this point, actually, probably shutting up is a good thing. Actually, I actually think that's probably positive. So, Gatlin, $5. Jerry better put belt to ass to his son and his ass be back in line because Micah will leave and he will go after the front office hard. Micah is more willing to do the social media game, the play hardball game certainly than Dak ever was. Dak was always showing up and willing to just if let me go, I'll go. CeeDee didn't quite play it that way. Zeke held out, but I don't I truly think that if you had asked Micah 2 weeks ago, is the deal going to get done? Say yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Osa Odigizua tweet. By the way, you could get 10 first-round picks in return. You'd have to pray one of them pans out half as good. This is a no-brainer. We have reached a different point of Cowboys fandom versus the front office and Cowboys. As Cowboys fans, the players are more vocal than ever. What are we doing? That's bad. If you don't think this runs the risk of a trickle-down effect in the locker room and just being negative, it's not good. It's not good at all. All right, thank you, Gatlin, $5. Emmett Lambert, $5. We'll do probably a few more, Chris, so we can go back to the Micah, the full quote he had. Hate Steven so much. Once Jerry is gone, we are maybe even more screwed. I am worried about that. Because, the Cowboys almost went out of their way this offseason at the press conference to find a way to make it very clear that the Cowboys and Jerry's not doing the agent stuff. That it's Steven and Adam Pacifica. That's dumb. And it's not and we don't. They can't even use they haven't even tried to use the pie argument yet. Because even they know they got more money than they know what to do with. They haven't even tried to do that. It's just it's just malpractice. That's all this is. It's all it is over and over and over again. It is organizational failures. It's screw-ups. It's mistakes. And it's super annoying and super frustrating. If you're every player on the roster, you're shit. If they're doing Micah like this, our best player, how are they going to do me when it comes to contract time? The Cowboys don't think big picture. They're really bad at that, I think. When it comes to this type of stuff. I think they're actually pretty bad at it. Osa, tweeting out this one moments ago, says you can get 10 first-round picks in return, and you would have to pray that one of them pans out half as good. This is a no-brainer. It's just annoying. Here is the statement from Micah Parsons. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in the hopes of getting something done. But since there is some confusion, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last season after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that, didn't complain, and focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price will only go up, but I didn't care. I wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other pass rushers got deals in the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again that we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. Again, radio silence. That one got in there twice, by the way, Chris. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation, and I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam Pacifica, when he told the deal was pretty much done already, my agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they wanted to talk, yet still on a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet again, but repeated shots at myself and all the narratives. I have made a tough decision that I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. There you go. Also, note how he calls him Mr. Jones for Jerry and Stephen for Stephen Jones. I don't know if that actually matters at all, but that's where we're at. We know what the deal looks like. Again, this actually isn't a hard deal to get done. Like, I cooked this up before the Myles Garrett, before the TJ Watt extension. I think it all holds true. But this is what you could have done. Like, not hard. But you just have found a way to screw this up to make it so much more complicated than you ever had to do because everyone let their feelings get hurt. Imagine that. We got a $50 super chat from Dwayne Jackson. Thank you for the beer bong. It is the blue one as well, Billy. Thank you very much, my friend. Dwayne, and we'll get to other super chats here as well in a little bit. I just don't understand why the Cowboys as an organization are so tone deaf. They can pay Dak, CD, and sign irrelevant players, but they can't sign their most important player on defense. Or just Steven hit up the slot machine and came up idiot. It might be that one. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. Look, it's not even like that they can't pay Micah. They can. I'm sure someone will try to claim, oh, well, there's only so much pie. There is a massive amount of pies. Like, it's just like, it's not, there's room to pay all those guys. It's not, again, it's not hard. It's not. It's just like, it's just a really, really bad process from the Cowboys. And the fact that it got to this point where Micah feels the need to send a trade request, whether to get paid or actually get traded, is just really bad negotiating. It didn't have to get to this, or lack thereof, I should say. It never had to get to this point. It should have never gotten to this point. Yet here we are, where Micah's mad, the Cowboys are mad, and your best player, your number one player on defense, is unhappy. It's bad. Dwayne, beer bong for you. We'll get to other super chats here. Here we go.
That one's for Micah.
Yeah, that one is actually, that helps. That helps. All right. Emmett, I hate Steven so much. We got to this one earlier. Jotman, a $20 super chat. That's a shoddy, by the way. Let me pull it up so it's not cut off. Look there. Dak needs to do more. Micah Parsons. I don't know the agent's name. Ziku. The best day of my fandom will be when Jerry is no longer the owner, and sadly, Steven will be worse. Can we get Charlotte to take control? This is the way. That's the way to do it. I think that's how you save things a little bit. Like I don't have faith in the Cowboys handling their business with Stephen Jones fully in charge. He's got a ton of power right now. But like Charlotte, I think she's done a good job with the Cowboys cheerleaders stuff. Actually, she's been pretty good at being in charge of that. The fact that like we have to do this game with this player at this time of the year, like, I don't know. Were you guys enjoying Cowboys training camp? Like, weren't the vibes better? Oh, now they're not. Now they're all gone. The Great Duke Bothers, speaking from experience, Steven is worse. Cheers to you guys. Bottoms up. Gabriel, don't know why fans aren't storming training camp yet. They should just not go. That would actually probably be a bigger middle finger to the front office. And then we can just let the media report on what happened, and we'll all know what's going on.
Hey, season tickets were sold out, though.
Oh, yeah. Remember last year when they made a big deal about the most season tickets ever, which was like kind of a joke because they automatically renewed them for the playoffs. So, like, of course they sold out faster than ever. They upped the renewal timeline more than ever. It was just like, it was nonsense. Max, I hate this Nepo baby. That is about Stephen Jones. Yep. Joe Keller, $5. Thank you, Joe. So sick of this hate. They are treating my favorite player like this when he lays it all out on the field every Sunday for us. Here's the best part. Obviously, this is about Micah Parsons. There's like several players this could actually refer to. There's actually several. That's bad. That's not a good thing. I'm laughing through the pain. VYL Sosa, just another Myles and Ayuk situation. Pay him. There's a very real chance that's how it plays out. That it's just like they eventually give him what he wants and, $42 million a year makes everything better. But you might not get that this time. There's now like the real threat of something bad happening. Of like him, and I don't think he'd actually do this because there's 2 years of franchise tags. Like, I think this is probably like, trying to actually get things going and get negotiation going. But the fact that we're here is just such a poorly run organization. Superman's Cape, $5. Been a Cowboys fan for over 20 years. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. I'm done. Wherever Micah goes, I follow. You are not the first person I've seen say that, Superman's Cape. It's just how long are you willing to put up with this always being the case? It's frustrating. All right, Noob Sky Bots. Let me get that one into the tracker. Thank you very much, my friend. Shoddy time. People forget that Jerry said any news is good news. Parsons' deal gets done. We all look back on this and shake our heads. Do you believe Diggs and his drama and influence on Parsons' decisions for the trade request? I don't think so. I think if, again, you could have avoided it by paying him before that drama all started. That was an option too. I don't think it's a massive issue. I think that Micah and Diggs knew that, like, I think that's what the tweet last night was about. I think Micah knew that the Diggs era was over, after this year, again, why you were playing so much negativity towards Diggs, who's best friends with Micah, like, I don't know why you did that. Like, that was just, again, malpractice from your organization. All right, cheers to you, Noob Skybot. It's from William Stoddard, by the way. Let me make sure I get the name right in our tracker. It says trade idea. Seattle makes sense. Sure. They've actually got a lot of edges, so like I'm not sure on that front. Like, I think the issue is, like, does Seattle want to trade away 2 first-round picks? That's probably what you're going to realistically ask for. I don't know if they do. They might not have a quarterback, frankly. Luis Rodriguez. I wouldn't blame Micah if he sat out the rest of camp until he is traded or is paid. So I'll mention this, and maybe I'll remember to mention this at the end of the cut whenever we get to it. the nuclear option is now kind of available for both parties. Micah reportedly was not at Cowboys training camp today. He was not present for the team's walkthrough, which is now a holdout. Now, that would count as the player leaving the team. And that gives him 5 days to return. Now, maybe they don't start the clock until Saturday. If a player doesn't return in that 5-day window with what's an unexcused absence, the team could place Micah on the reserve list as a retired player. That is the rule. But if that happens, the player's out for the season. They can't play this year. Any team, no trade. The contract gets told as well. So we're right back where it was. So that's the nightmare nuclear option I don't think anybody actually wants to unfold. That's why, if you're going to go down this path, that's why you hold out first. Because Micah did not think this was going to be the case when training camp started. He thought this was actually going to get done, and if not already had been done. It's not good. That's why this is messy.
Do you think at this point now, with him not being there, you think they triple down and start fining him for not being there?
At that point, we're kind of I think they would. Would. Now, it's a rookie contract. You can rescind the fines later if you want.
Okay.
But I don't think the fines are really an issue. I think it's more like, how far do you let this get when you haven't talked to the fucking agent yet, which is like the number one step you have to do here. I would like to believe that Steven was on the phone with Mulugheta, but who knows? This is the super chat menu today. $20 for a shotty, $50 for a beer bong. Any hundos? Mr. Toaster's back, baby. He never left the office. He was safer, and my bathtub was safer as well with it being here. So 20, 50, and 100 shotties, beer bong, and name on the toaster. If you have not already, it is a good time to subscribe. We broke down the initial stuff on Micah earlier this morning when Diana Rossini, who was right about everything, because the exact same stuff I heard last night. She's an actual journalist, though, so she did the reporting on it. Everything that we said yesterday came true. It's a bad spot. It's the relationship's not in a good place. It's not. They are not operating well. They've let the feelings get in the way. Everyone's mad at everyone, and they're just they're giving each other, at least maybe the Cowboys are, they're giving them the silent treatment. It's what are we doing? Micah's an elite football player. It's not an accident all these players are coming out. It's just coming out in support of Micah. It's just it's not. What are we doing here? The history tells us, probably not going to get traded. Terry McLaurin requested his trade. I doubt he gets dealt. The Bengals are not going to trade Trey Hendrickson. We'll see what his deal looks like. The Bengals paid T. Higgins. The Browns traded Myles Garrett. But Khalil Mack got traded. A couple first-round picks. That's noteworthy. The Cowboys always cave in the end. Are they going to cave again, or is this the difference? Do they change? Does somebody actually do something different this time? I feel bad for Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
He makes such a big deal about culture, and he's getting undercut by ownership. Mike McCarthy is probably just having a beer right now, chilling. Hero Cool. I seen a tweet that the Jones boys are on the phone right now. We think this deal's getting done today. Or am I just being Delulu? God, I hate this shit's going on. I think it is. I think two things can be true. You can have optimism, belief, faith, whatever you want to call it, that the Cowboys will end up re-signing Micah Parsons, and on September 1st, the deal gets done, and everyone's kumbaya because it's a record-setting contract, which is more than it would have been from a while ago. I think it's also fair to be this is not good. I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive. I think both things actually can be true. That everyone can be mad. That they can fix the relationship. They can go to couples counseling, whatever. But, once divorce gets thrown around, like, hey, it's kind of you're in a precarious spot. Thomas Palmer, as Chris has updated his outfit, which I love. Thank you, Chris. At this point, I'm signing with Micah Parsons, Tyron Smith, Frederick Ware, Martin, etc. Way too many Hall of Fame players without a chip. Again, I've said this before. The biggest problem with the Cowboys is not any of the players or coaching staff. It's always been the Jones boys. It's always been those two. I think more people are kind of coming around and being on board with that one. Colby Nelson, hope that Mike is doing this for leverage, but regardless of the point, I'm convinced all of us Cowboys fans are into S&M. I'm Stockholm Syndrome. I'm aware of that one. Look, no matter what he does, it's a leverage play. Whether it is leverage to get traded, or it's leverage to get paid, all of it, I think, applies to the leverage elements. Like, it's just not a good spot. Like, I still think there's a real chance that this all gets sorted out, but why does it have to be this way?
Every time.
Every time.
It's not like it's a one-time thing.
CD considered a trade request last year. He didn't do it, but he considered it. Micah actually went ahead and did it this time. Samuel Coroner, at practice yesterday, Micah was extra somber and something seemed off more than a Holden. I guess I now know. Samuel was at Cowboys training camp yesterday, so that's how that one was. I mean, I get it. Like, it's not. If I were in Micah's shoes, and all the background here, like maybe I'll do a timeline at some point, but like, you can go back to March and April, and everything Micah said today was true. Some of it might be from a certain point of view, and maybe the Cowboys have a different point of view. But you guys remember back in late March, early April, when there was all the buzz of the Cowboys and Micah are close to a deal? That's because they had the secret meeting, and I think all the parties felt they were close, but they thought they were close in different ways. Micah thought they were close because they was going to call the agent and they were going to figure out all the final details and iron stuff out. The Cowboys thought they were close because they could bypass the agent, which was never actually going to happen. And Micah should have known, they're going to have issues once you actually get the agent involved. Like, I'm old enough to remember the Dez Bryant story. Like, literally, Jerry did the exact same thing to Micah that he did with Dez Bryant. Years ago, Dez told this story that he and Jerry were at some event, and Jerry started to try to steer their conversation to contract, and Dez said, Jerry, I can't talk with you about this, man. You're going to cook me. You're better at me than this. Micah talked about it with Jerry. So I don't know how, as a professional football organization, you're trying to use some verbal contract as like a reason to cave it and just like not talk with the agent. It's just really ugly and really sloppy. It's just like, it's not good. Chris V. Bacon. They trade Micah. I am done with this team. FA fan looking for competent ownership run franchise. The good teams, more often than not, have the best run franchises, as it turns out.
And it's a shame because some of those are your rivals. The Eagles, the Niners, teams you already hate.
Eagles would never let it reach this point. They would never let him reach this point. Dwayne, $20, another shotty. What are the chances the Cowboys offer him the contract he wants, but he turns them down? I suppose we can't rule that one out, but I feel like the agent and Micah say, let's just take it. Because this is a very cynical comment I'm about to say here. There's nothing stopping Micah from throwing a fit in 2 years and saying, I want out again, if he does take the contract. I don't think he'd do that, because he does want to be a Cowboy. Like, he does want to be here. Like, that is, he said it himself, he wants to be here. He's upset with the way things have gone. Feelings have gotten hurt. But I think and the way this probably ends up playing out, like the most likely, I'm not guaranteed, but most likely outcome is Jerry calls Micah. Because if you go back, we'll show the quote again here. Like, Micah was he was Mr. Jones for Jerry. It was Steven Jones. No Mr. on that front. Like, that's noteworthy. Like, there's also, by the way, Ed Warder reporting that Mike is not going to leave training camp, which is good. At this point, he kind of can't. He just has to hold in. Like, he doesn't really have a lot of options without the nuclear option coming into play. So it's not really a good spot. But, like, I would bet if Jerry called Micah and said, I'm going to go talk to your agent, I will get involved, I will handle this, we'll get this done, I don't want you to leave. And Jerry calls the agent, and the agent gets everything he wants. It's all water under the bridge. But you could have gotten this done earlier and saved yourself money. So guess what happens here once again? The agent takes you out back and bends you over the barrel. So you lose again. Let's go through the Micah quotes one more time, the long one that he posted on social media today. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy, wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, PA. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created about and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in the hopes of getting something done. But since there is confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason for my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team didn't want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay, didn't complain, focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price only go up, but I didn't care. I wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other pass rush deals at the 2024 season. After the year, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow, the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam Pacifica, he told me the deal was pretty much already done. My agent told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Steven Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet not a call, email, or text about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation about my agent with the contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I've made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been personally submitted to Steven Jones, which again, it's Mr. Jones when it's Jerry, and it's Steven Jones when it's just Steven, which I think is very much worth mentioning on that front. Now here we are, August 1st. Instead of talking about training camp or whatever, we're talking about a Micah Parsons trade request. Trayvon Diggs, DeMarvion Overshown, Wanye Thomas, CeeDee Lamb have all taken to social media to support Micah. It's somehow become a us against them scenario, but the them is the front office and ownership. That's never a good thing. Like, whether or not Jerry meant to take a shot at Micah, you guys could spin it however you want. That's how he took it. That's not good. Like, this is an ugly situation for the Dallas Cowboys. It's bad. There's no way around it. You have a player who statistically is off to one of the 5 greatest starts since the sack era stat counting began ever. He's gotten at least 12 sacks every single year of his career, and it's at least 13 except for the year he missed 4 games. That's it. Like, it just is bad. There's no way around it. You could have nipped this in the bud a year ago. You could have taken care of this 3 months ago. You could have taken care of this 3 weeks ago. You could have taken care of this 3 days ago, 3 hours ago. But you let it drag out because Steven and Adam Pacifica are bad at this. They are bad. We don't have to pretend anybody else. We don't have to. It's okay to be mad at them. It is. This is a safe-spaced event. Be mad at whoever you want. It's fine. This is the Super Chat menu because, I'll be honest, I don't want to be sober right now. I don't know if that's a bad thing to say, but that is how I feel. $20 for a shotty, $50 for a beer bong, $100 our good friend Mr. Toaster's here again. It's a good day to bring back Mr. Toaster because until we can, I should not say that one. Until I'm just gonna that one might get me in trouble. Until it's ownership changes over, there's always going to be a big problem. That's how it's always going to go. If you want the Cowboys to actually pay Micah, like the video, please and thank you. Likes are always beneficial. Help the channel continue to grow. Like the video for me on today's show. Let's do this, Chris. Let's run through all the Super Chats. We'll do a cut on it. And then we'll get back to more Super Chats and maybe do some fan reaction stuff. We'll see. Benjamin Duff, $5. This man was scooping up fumbles with a cast and a broken hand, and we can't pay him. Praying this ends like Garrett. I think if you were like a betting man, you'd be able to put more money. Like I think ending up like Myles Garrett is probably the betting favorite, but it's not going to be like minus 500. It's like maybe it's like minus 105. OG Longshot. This is all Nepo Moron's fault. I love that one. He shouldn't even be allowed to run one of the hot dog stands at the stadium. What a disaster Steven is. I have said before, I am happy to say it again. I think the Cowboys, when Stephen Jones is fully in charge, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. Jeremy Bramlett, $5. Herschel Walker 2.0. I don't think you're ever going to see a Herschel Walker 2.0 trade. Like, it's not, that trade is never going to happen again. There's no way anybody gives up that amount of anything, not even for a quarterback, frankly. Like, that trade is so impossible to ever occur again. To put it in perspective, the trade was stupid because it was conditional on cutting players, where the Cowboys originally got 4 players, 3 picks, a first, second, and a sixth, in exchange for Herschel Walker, a couple of 3s, a 5, a 10. A player went to the Chargers as well. But the Cowboys got 2 additional firsts, 2 additional seconds, and an additional third for cutting those guys. So which was just like the Vikings thought they were going to keep, the Cowboys would keep the players, and then the Cowboys said, tricked you, cut you. It just like, it was insane. It's never happened again. I think the Khalil Mack trade, maybe a little bit more, which was, essentially 2 firsts and change, is probably more realistic. Like that's like the Jalen Ramsey trade. I'm drawing a blank. There's another defensive trade that happened. Like those trades are probably more in line with what you could actually get. Maddox Bats, cut Micah, go get Adam Trotman, who of course plays tight end. So it's a very, 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 very funny troll. Very funny troll. Brady Pomeroy, a couple entries into the jersey raffle here. Can we actually do 2 things here before we go to the cut? Can we do the 50-50 raffle? And can we do the Micah pool? I should probably mention that. It's a good day to mention it. Do you actually see him being traded? If I had to guess one way or the other, my thought is no. Like I don't think that ends up happening. I don't think he gets traded, but can't write it off now. Like it's an option. Like it's that bad at this point. Now, we have done this in previous weeks, and the rules actually don't change. The rules don't change. You can pick the date you think Micah gets signed or traded, whichever one that is, and we're doing a 50-50 split the pot. The take-home right now is $27.50, by the way. At What Going Downey on Venmo, $5 to enter. That's at What Going Downey. We will also do, before the year begins, maybe first preseason game, we'll see, a Venmo 50-50 raffle. $20 to enter on that one. So at What Going Downey, I'll put the Venmo link in the comments here. Fun ways to give away items and stuff and money, which is at this point just like it's how it goes at this point. At What Going Downey on Venmo. All right, Old Bean, $5. My dad talks about how amazing Jerry was in the 90s. As a younger fan, what do you think happened to make him so bad at this? The potential answer here is that it's Jerry's biggest fear. It was all Jimmy. That's the biggest fear I think that Jerry Jones has. That it was him. It wasn't Jerry. It was Jimmy. Jerry doesn't get the credit because he didn't do anything. I think of late, it's a lot more on the defensive side. It's a lot more on the Suns side. That I have long held that Jerry didn't want to turn into Al Davis, and his, he treats the Cowboys as a family business, but the son's not good enough. Maybe the daughter is. Gatlin, what are the odds that Stack, CD, and George Pickens and all our stars refuse to play until Micah gets paid? 0. They're not going to skip games and stuff. Like, it's not going to happen. There's no way that happens. Like, George Pickens is in a contract year. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb got money line. Like, they want to win. Like, they can support Micah and still play. Those are both. Those are options. Papachulo Sits is a Bears fan offering 2 ones and Austin Booker. I think that's like probably a pretty similar mindset of like a lot of people are going to be offering the proposed hypothetical trades. 2 ones and a player. Michael Hyde, 2 ones and a player. Jaron Reed. Normally it'll be like you're not best player. It'll be like your second best player or like a guy you can afford to move on from, like Montez Sweat, not Austin Booker. Jaron Reed, not Byron Murphy type of deal. I think 2 ones and a player is going to be a very popular hypothetical offer. Kind of like it was for Myles Garrett, right? Kind of similar. Marcus just tuned in. If I missed this question, I apologize because there's just be drama for Hard Knocks. The Hard Knocks is in season for the Cowboys. So, no. It would not be that. I know there's been a lot of, not so much from you guys. There's been a lot of hopium the last, 48 hours, I've noticed, of they're close to a deal. They're just milking it for the attention. They're clearly not. Sometimes face value is the price. That is what's going on here. So, Easy V40, as a 50-plus year Cowboy fan, I actually think Micah wants out. Last thing in the world Micah is worried about is his money. This goes deeper. Well, I think it's the money would fix all the things he's worried about. If the Cowboys hadn't just ignored him, if the relationship hadn't deteriorated as part of the money talks, then yeah. But this is where we're at. Matt J, boycott the Cowboys if Micah is traded. Yes, boycott the Cowboys, but that's fine. We'll still cover the news for it, for those of you who at least want to stay aware of stuff. So, Devin the Dog. And I thought being a Lions fan used to be bad. Lions are run pretty darn well now. The Lions might get Aiden Hutchinson done before Micah Parsons. Let that sink in. From Michael, another shoddy, which I appreciate very much, my friend. Thank you, Michael Fogley up. Am I crazy to think if somebody is willing to give a king's ransom that's an okay long-term strategy? We won't be wait, this one is full. I think I owe 2. That's how you know I've had a couple when I realized I just didn't do one previously. Cheers. Won't be this year, but a few more years to the top 100 picks, maybe we will be. If you get a king's ransom, define what a king's ransom is. And depending on what that king's ransom is, who's to say we're actually going to get it? I know a lot of us are familiar with the Herschel Walker trade because it's our team. The Herschel Walker trade is not happening again. It's never going to happen again. No one outside of a quarterback is going to actually do that deal. It's not in the cards anymore. I think the reasonable trade value is 2 ones and maybe some change. Could be a player, could be a pick, could be something else. And then you can flip the ones into other stuff too, but like the Cowboys made the trade for George Pickens to go win games this season. Not having Micah hurts your chances of doing that. Which again, it's all like, what is your actual goal as an organization? Like I had said this, maybe I can even find the clip of it. Like I had said this the soon as the offseason ended. Figure out what your Micah Parsons plan is. Go figure it out. If you want to trade him, trade him. And you could have gotten the most back in March. You could have, if you wanted to pay him, pay him. Let me pull it up here. I got perfect Cowboys offseason plan. We did this in January. Let me pull it up here. I gotta let the ad skim a little bit there. Oh, wait, that was last year's video. Sorry. I'm stupid. Perfect 2025 offseason plan. That's the one I'm searching for there. That one was... we went a lot of head coach stuff there to start. Let's see. Where is it? Number 4 was pay Micah ASAP. But I also mentioned, hey, if you just like want to trade him, that's fine. You had your window back in January, and you didn't do it. So we are, I believe, all caught up on Super Chats. As more come in, we will revisit them. I do want to get into the full updated news cut on the Micah Parsons situation. So let's dive into it in case you're just now tuning in. As we mentioned earlier this morning, when the rumblings and buzz were very real, it's now 100% real. Micah Parsons has officially requested his trade from the Dallas Cowboys. The contract negotiations, which maybe haven't really been negotiations at all, have really fallen apart. They are in a bad spot, and Micah has reached the point where, at least publicly, he doesn't want to be here anymore. I think there is a lot of leverage stuff to discuss and undertake and have conversations about, but Micah posted a lengthy notes app message on social media saying he didn't want to be here anymore, that he was tired of the way he was being treated, and he has formally requested his trade from the Dallas Cowboys organization, and he does not want to be here anymore, and he is looking to move on from his current team. We will have all the latest on Micah since the saga's not over, and it might not be over for a while. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV for more free Cowboys YouTube videos. Lengthy quote upcoming, but this is what Micah said on social media. And I'll kind of summarize it so it's not as boring for some of you. Micah saying he wanted to be here. He did everything he could to show he wanted to be a Cowboy and play for the team he grew up cheering for in PA. But unfortunately, he writes, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to the closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in the hopes of getting something done. But since there is some confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason, my 3rd year, in hopes of getting a deal done. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay. Didn't complain. Focused on the season. After the year, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent told me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care. I wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other pass rusher deals got done. After the season, I told my agent again, let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow, the conversation turned to him talking contract with me. I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted for my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I told Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. When my agent reached out and spoke to Adam Pacifica, the Cowboys contract guy, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that was not the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision that I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys, and my trade request has been personally submitted to Stephen Jones. And some people tried to tell me that the deal was actually done already and they were just doing it for leverage and for media attention. We don't have to pretend that this is a good thing. It's not. It's not a good thing that we have reached this point. Is it part of the extension game? Sure, we can make that claim. Doesn't mean it's a good thing we've reached that point. So what is your one word for how you feel about the Cowboys right now? How do you feel about them and the way they've handled the Micah saga and the contract negotiation and all of that stuff? Let me know at the pinned comment of today's show. My one word here is messy. Because what's embarrassing is another one. Because what is now the best case realistic scenario that happens? If you want him on the team, isn't the best case scenario that, hey, the trade got you the Cowboys to give the agent what he wanted, and Jerry Jones, or Mr. Jones, as Micah called him, comes in and saves it from being a Steven-led negotiation, and Jerry and Micah talk, and then Jerry gets involved with the agent, and there's a kumbaya, and the agent gets everything he wanted for Micah in the first place, and the Cowboys chip in a few $1 million for pain and suffering. Well, guess what? Now you've just cost yourself more money. That's your issue. All you've done is limit your own spending power because you just dragged it out again, which Steven claims they don't, which is a lie. Or you trade him, but it's also August, so you're definitely not going to get the same value you could have got in March if that's the route you wanted to go. Also, now your players are mad at you too because Wanye Thomas made his profile picture Diggs, and Trey made his profile picture Micah, and Trayvon Diggs did it, and DeMarvion Overshone did it. And CeeDee Lamb is out there, your highest paid receiver in franchise history, is out there advocating like, what are we doing? Oso Digizua, who just got paid, is public advocating. Probably not an accident, by the way, that the guys who have been paid are the ones tweeting about it. Because there's a little bit more security there. And then don't feel retaliation or anything. It's a shit look for the Cowboys. And maybe some for Micah, too, that we've gotten to this point. But how many times do I have to say the Cowboys suck at negotiating before people stop defending them? And this isn't really like the comment section. You guys are pretty good about it from what I've seen. This is certain members of media, frankly, that I'm calling out here. That, like, I might go digging once this live cut is over and see if some people have said some stuff. Like, they're bad at this. We don't have to pretend otherwise. Even if they fix everything and pay him, well, guess what? They cost themselves money. There's no way this ends up being perfect for Dallas. If they honestly believed that they could just bypass the agent on, a near $200 million deal, why? Why would they actually think that? Like, if we want to believe the Cowboys aren't going to trade Micah, I think that's fine, actually. I think that is probably the most likely outcome, so that they keep him and pay him, and it's all water under the bridge with a record-setting contract. Like, that's fine. But we don't have to pretend this is a good thing. So will the Cowboys actually trade Micah? Y for yes, N for no. I don't think trading Micah actually makes a lot of sense right now for the Cowboys. They're not going to grant the trade request, and I think Micah's camp knows that too. You're not going to get max value back. You're not going to get the best first-round pick possible because let's say the team's trying to finish 15th right now. You add Micah, well, now they're at least 18th, right? 20th, something like that. Like, you're not going to – you're making that team better when they have not finalized their pick. You should have done that before the draft if you wanted to do it. Teams have paid money. They've added assets. Like, the Cardinals could have been an option for you if you wanted to trade Micah. Well, now they're not because they paid other guys. It's not going to happen. Your team, in the process, if you actually did it gets worse. So that third-round pick you sent for George Pickens, now you gave up more to get George Pickens, who was also repped by David Mulugheta, by the way, to trade away Micah. And we like this edge rusher room because of Micah Parsons. If it's out there with Dante Fowler, Donovan Ezieruaku, Marshawn Kneeland, Sam Williams, it's not like the worst, but do we think that's the best part of your defense? Or is it kind of like, oh, that's like, average-ish? History tells us, by the way, this is normally a move in an effort to get a current extension from your team, which is probably what ends up happening. That's probably what happens. That they fix the water on the bridge, but now it's not a guarantee. Now there's uncertainty. Now there's extra drama. I guess there's no guarantee Terry McLaurin ends up staying a Commander. T. Higgins did. Myles Garrett did. Trey Hendrickson, I think, ends up getting paid. It's just messy. By the way, there's a non-zero chance that the Lions, as a good organization, get Aiden Hutchinson paid, and now the price tag went up. Because if you thought there was any chance of Micah taking the team from the deal that he has hinted at before, it's done now. It's not happening. You're not getting a team-friendly deal anymore. That is out the door. That is out the door. Copium your way all you want. It's not happening. So, because I'm pretty high up there. The shots have helped, I'll be honest, though. How upset are you right now? 1 to 10 is your scale. This guy deserves a lot of the blame. Now, I don't think it's an accident that Micah called Jerry Jones Mr. Jones, and it was just Steven Jones, or just Adam Pacifica, and just Adam was the first name in there in that statement. Steven had claimed, this was good reporting from the Dallas Morning News, Steven claimed, hey, we want to pay Micah too. He's got to want to get paid. Well, Dallas Morning News reported earlier today, which has all kind of gotten buried, Micah didn't like that. And obviously, Steven Jones lied. Because nobody in the history of anything holds in requests a trade because they don't actually want to get paid. It's not how it works. It was a lie. Micah called Steven when he saw that quote. Steven apologized. It's not good. It's not good. Look, the Cowboys are bad at this. We don't have to pretend anything else. I am tired of, and you people know who you are, that everything's actually fine. The Cowboys are good at this. They don't make mistakes. They've handled everything properly. A franchise tag for Mike, which is where we're trending, by the way, if there is no deal done this offseason, I still think the deal gets done. I hate the way that this is how it has to be played. That this is the nonsense we deal with. But we don't have to pretend that the Cowboys have done a good job of this. Objectively and subjectively, they have not. Now, we'll keep you covered on all things Cowboys as it relates to this Micah Parsons saga. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. I built all of this last night, because the buzz was already out there from talking to people, but I'm not a real journalist, so I just let the actual people do it. There's a very simple solution to all of this. You just pay Micah Parsons. For as in the feelings as Micah and Jerry and Steven all might be with each other, you know what makes everyone feel better? $42 million a year or more. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is just, hey, let's call, Jerry gets on the horn. Micah, I love you. I think you're a great player. I'm sorry it's gotten so bad. Let's get this done. Mike says, okay, call the agent. This time they call the agent. Agent says, cool, we want this, this, and this. Cowboys cave. We've heard that before, right? This time there's a trade request on top of it. But CeeDee Lamb got what he wanted. Dak Prescott got everything he wanted twice from the Cowboys. It's the trade request in the end, I think, is a move to get paid from the Cowboys. What that deal looks like, this was from 2-3 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, this was before the TJ Watt deal. Maybe it's a little bit more, which is why it's frustrating, because all you've done is just screw yourself here. You haven't helped yourself. Media attention. Who cares? You get that anyway. You get that every single day. ES First Take discusses you every day, no matter what. They will invent storylines to discuss you. You don't have to give them reasons to do it. It's sloppy, it's messy, it's unnecessary, and it's dumb that we're at this point. Because it didn't have to be this way. It did not have to do. It didn't have to be. You could have had it done. You could have had it done a year ago. Had it done 3 months ago. Had it done 3 weeks ago. Had it done 3 days ago. You were in position to just make this a drama-free August. And their egos didn't let them do it. One-word reaction to the Micah Parsons trade request. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Can you guys go get me my charger? I probably should have brought that in, my laptop charger. Thank you, appreciate it. Until we actually, until it changes, I will always operate on the assumption that the Cowboys will cave on a contract. That's what they always do. They always find a way to do it. But I think it continues to build some bad feelings, ill will in the locker room. If you are a non-Micah Parsons player, does this kind of scare you a little bit? Okay, what do we do? If they're going to treat Micah like this, to where he has to go down the trade request route to get them to call back his agent, what are they going to do with us? How are they going to treat us when it comes to contract time? If I want to get what I think is fair market value for myself, they'll always play ball with you if you take, let's say you just saw it with Jake Ferguson, right? But if you want, if you're, great example, George Pickens with the same agent as Micah Parsons, I don't know. It's not great. It's just not great. It's just sloppy. And it just adds a lot of unnecessary nonsense. Now, we are doing the Micah decision pool. You pick the date Micah gets signed or traded, and the closest person to it gets the 50-50 split the pot pool at What Downey on Venmo to get into the Micah decision pool. You don't even have to specify, by the way, if it is a trade or a signing. It is just whatever date you think this finally gets wrapped up. That's all you have to do. At What Downey on Venmo. We'll do 50-50 raffles throughout the season, so you can get in on that now too. $20 to enter, but that's where we sit. The Super Chat menu. $20, we got our shotties. It's just like what Brian Schottenheimer drank at the Cowboys schedule thing. It's vodka with a little bit of sugar-free lemonade, because Shotty does water and lemons. I didn't want the lemons to turn nasty in here when I'm not going to drink an entire bottle of vodka in a day, although, we're not that far away. This was pretty full when we started today. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, so I just did sugar-free lemonade and a little bit of water, but it's mostly vodka, because otherwise it's not really a shot, is it? $50 for a beer bong. We did one already. $100 Super Chat. Mr. Toaster's back. Our good friend. He's always available here on the show. He's always in the studio. I haven't brought him out for a while. Not since the Schottenheimer hiring, but today felt like a good day to do it because it's just sloppy and messy. $100 will put your name on the toaster. I don't know if I'm allowed to auction it off. There's already a line I'm playing there of what's too far. I almost crossed it again earlier today. There's a fine line I'm playing there, so I don't know if I'm ever going to be allowed to auction it off. But Michael, $20. That's a shotty here. Tom, bottoms up, and let's say we get offered a first and their top 100 pick and a young starting caliber DT. I'd want more. I think it depends on who the young starter DT is. Are they low-end starter, or are they actually super good? If they're super good, then yeah, sure, we have the conversation. But it kind of feels like a little bit less than what I'd like. But if you were actually do it, you almost want a player back, like a really good player back, to try to get people signed type of deal. So, cheers, Michael. Sam, Myles Garrett gave Micah some advice. I'd buy it. I think overall Michael's goal, I went Jerry there, Micah's goal, is to get paid. Like that is his goal. And by the Cowboys, ideally. He doesn't really have a lot of options because he showed up for camp already. Because again, Micah honestly believed this was going to get done already. Like, I think Micah's camp thought, well, not the agent camp, the person camp. I think he thought it was going to get done before the draft. I think he is surprised it got through training camp and it wasn't done yet, or at least the start of training camp. Like, that's what happened. So frustrating spot to be, but he's trying to do things to get himself paid. He doesn't want to wait, and he's mad at the Cowboys, and they are just, there's a lot of hurt feelings, and it's all kind of stupid in the end. Chris V. Bacon in with a $5 super chat as well. Let me get these updated here. Hold on here. Let me get the super chat names in. Chris V. Bacon's got 3. Go. Michael's got a bunch. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right for the tracker. All right. Chris V. Bacon. Extending Micah was a no-brainer. As soon as they were able to, they should have. They continued to fumble these situations. Was looking to go to a game this year. I think I would rather save my money. I don't blame you. No. Maybe if things get right, you can always go. You can always then plan on going. But again, this is like how many times in a row has the Cowboys' free square of the offseason not gotten done and we're in August? It can't keep happening. Like, at a certain point, they have to actually change their ways. Because, like, this is the same team that, like, probably, not guaranteed, probably ends up folding, giving Micah and the agent everything that he wants, and then they're going to cry poor because of their own actions. That didn't have to go that way. Didn't have to. It's frustrating. Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. F. Marshy in the comments, guys. F. Marshy in the comments. Marshall can confirm that I messaged him. What time did I message him at? Let me pull it up here. I messaged him at like before 10 a.m. I'm like, chances are going to be a day on here. And here we are, having a day. F. Marshy in the comments section of today's show. As we are just, here we are doing a bunch of nonsense with Micah requesting a trade. Probably ends up being like Myles Garrett. But the fact we're here is just like, we're really, really stupid. And it should not be here at all. I was going to read it. Have I not read it? Oh, he said, don't be sad it's over. Smile that it happened. A reminder of the Super Chat menu, $5 in the George Pickens jersey raffle. $10 gets you 3 entries. $50 for a beer bong as well. That is the Super Chat menu. I think you just put it in production on that front. Oh, there it is. Marshall on there. Yeah. I don't mind. I think that's like good-natured fun trolling for me. I don't mind that at all. So, yeah, I know what his real thoughts are on the Cowboys and Dak and everything too. So it's pretty funny. Yeah. Trade request here. By the way, Cowboys do have 3 years of team control, 5th-year option, 2 franchise tags. Like, I don't think they're gonna seriously consider trading Micah unless like the negotiation is an instant Godfather offer, which isn't gonna happen. Like, talking like Herschel Walker plus. No way. We got to that one from Easy. I think Object Pawar. Oh no, sorry. Jorge A is the next one on the Super Chat side. Jorge says, the worst part is when Jerry does eventually kick the bucket, we're left with an even bigger idiot in Steven. That is the proper mindset to have. Because, like, again, I don't think it's an accident that, whether it was designed to be a dig or just, like, how he actually feels. It was Mr. Jones for Jerry when Micah was put out his statement. And it was Stephen Jones and Adam for Adam Pacifica. Mike, I'm not even able to spell his name. I can't spell his name the first time right either. So, like, it's just like, It's very sloppy. It's all extremely sloppy. And it's honestly embarrassing. Like, to do this again, to, like, have other fans and other jokes, like, it's just, they're all deserved. We can spin it however we want. We don't have to pretend this is a good thing. It's not. It's not a good thing. It's just not. Object Poir, is Dak's contract to blame for this? Not even a little bit. So, I know you're just asking. You're not implying it is. This is just how it is. Like, the Cowboys have a lot of money available. Like, money is not an issue for the Dallas Cowboys. Do not let anybody else tell you otherwise. Like, the Cowboys have $31 million in salary cap space. They could pay Micah whatever he wanted right now. And it would actually save them money. They would have even more salary cap space available. The contracts aren't an issue. By the way, Dak's contract, it's not right now, but it will be once they restructure it. It's actually going to be less than what it is right now. Like, his cap hit's going to go down next year, which is very unusual for a contract, but that's how it is here. Like, the Cowboys are over the cap for next year. If you can send Jeremy the link, that'd be great, by the way. He wants the link. But all they have to do is restructure Dak. Yeah, to the stream, sorry. Once the Cowboys do their planned restructures of Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Osa Odigizua, they free up $50 million in salary cap space. Like, money is not an issue at all. Like, it's not a problem for them. And I think we know that's the case because the Joneses haven't even brought out the pie narrative yet. Like, they haven't tried that one. Like, I thought they were going to after the Jake Ferguson deal, because that's what they did when they paid Jalen Smith, Ly'el Collins, and then Ezekiel Elliott. They're talking about a pie a lot that year. They haven't done that yet because even they know we've got access to the internet and we can disprove them. Lone Wolf, does the money from the merch we buy from you guys or your sponsors go to the team? I don't believe so. At least not to my knowledge. I don't think that's how it works. The sponsor stuff, like, if you mean like, ethos and everything, no, absolutely not. That goes to us. That's where that goes. But no, there's not, like, we are independent from the Dallas Cowboys, which is how I'm able to, make a thumbnail that has a clown emoji of Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones on it. So that's how that is able to happen. That's also how I'm convinced the Jones boys family burners don't like my tweets sometimes and get mad at me online. So no, we are independent. So that's how that goes. If you haven't already, hit that sub button here on the Cowboys Report. Good old Chugs asked for the link because Raiders fans are going to come over and troll. So we can go to the super chat menu here too in a little bit, Chris. It's probably a good time for it because I had a good time watching Mitch on the NFL Watch Party stream on just the Chat Sports channel last night. You guys were crazy. It was fun. It was fun. $20 is a shotty. It is the drink of choice from what Brian Schottenheimer was drinking. It's vodka. He did it with lemons and water, so I just did sugar-free lemonade because I thought the lemons might go bad, but this was essentially full when we started today. So $50 for a beer bong. We got plenty of those. $100. We'll put your name on the toaster. This is Mr. Toaster, our good friend. This is the same toaster that I dropped in the tub when I tweeted out, if the Cowboys let Ezekiel Elliott start week 1, I'll drop a toaster in my tub. And then they did it, so I dropped the toaster in my tub. I was not standing in it because I never specified that I would be. Because I know legalese and how to get out of that. So we dodged that one. $100, name goes on the toaster. $20 for the shotty. $50 for the beer bong. I think tomorrow we'll probably do a like Micah trade video, even though I don't think it happens, but can't rule it out now, can you? What would you want back in a trade for Micah Parsons? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. What would you want back in a trade for Micah. As those comments come in, some super chats we will get to here as well, and put in Lone Wolf for the raffle entry too. Good old Coop says, is the toaster plugged in? Name and address. Toaster is not plugged in. I'm honestly kind of afraid to plug it in. It went in the tub. Like, I'm sure it's dried, but like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good idea. So toaster is not plugged in. Coop runs our Mavs channel with some generational crash outs over the Luka trade, which, much like this Cowboy stuff, was also valid. Name and address was a great crash out. You guys weren't there for that. It's when I flipped my laptop and asked for the ref's name and address after a bad call. And then as I recall, I went, that's too far. I should not have said that. And then, but it's a good note. I meet like random people. That's the first thing they bring up every time. Like I've met like several like non-Cowboys fans who like watch the show because it's fun, and that's the first thing they bring up every time. They're like, I remember when, every time. Lone Wolf. Right, just want to make sure because I don't know if people have to pay them royalties for using the logo and all that. Sweet, gotcha, Lone Wolf. Appreciate that. Big D Energy. Please explain to the casuals how Mike is still under contract and can be tagged for 2 more years. On top of that, it matters. I don't know if the listicle's built, Chris, of like the franchise tag for Micah. I don't know if that's built or not. Let me go check real quick just to give it like a visual aid to it. As well, I can do a quick search, but I know that the Tyler Smith one is built. I don't know if I ever did it for the Micah side. Let me see if I can find 2026 tag in here. Hold on. Let me look up franchise tag. I don't know if it's built. It might not be built. Yeah, that's not quite. It's not that bad. You can probably go to it. So the way this works is Micah, as his 5th-year option, the final year of his first-year contract, is under contract with the Dallas Cowboys for this season. There's really not that much that he's able to do to like get out of that. Like it's under team control. That's how it works. Like there's nothing that they can do. Every year, NFL teams have the right to place a franchise tag on one player. Now, of note, in most cases, the franchise tag cost is just what the projections are. It's the normal franchise tag projection cost. Wide receiver for George Pickens is $28 million. Defensive end is $26.54. The projected figure for a linebacker, which is what Micah counts as with the way the NFL dictates it, is $27.7 million. But the actual franchise tag cost, even for the first one, is either the franchise tag cost or 120% of last year's previous salary. So in reality, the franchise tag cost for Micah Parsons is going to be around $28.8 million if they wanted to tag him next year. And the downside of the franchise tag is you don't really have any leverage with the way it works. Like it's $28.8 million on the cap. If you were to extend Micah, it'd be like half of that at most. Like you actually have some leverage there. So you get to apply the tag to anybody. You can apply a tag a second time if you wanted to. In that case, it's the same deal. Either the new franchise tag cost or a 120% increase. So the next tag would be around $34.6 million. Again, no leverage, no ability to like tweak the way it counts. It's $34.5 million on your cap. And that is higher than what it would be with an extension. Your cash might be lower, but your cap is actually higher. Now, if a team wanted to, you could do a third franchise tag. But that tag cost is 144% of the price of the last franchise tag cost. So now, all of a sudden, you're tagging him at about $50 million. And that is on your cap. So no one ever does the third franchise tag because at that point it's so far out of the way with the money, it doesn't actually make any sense. So that's you have options. I actually, in general, I don't like the franchise tag because if you believe in a player, just pay them. Like, that's just going to make it easier for you. Like, it actually benefits you to have that deal done and to not have it be a roadblock in paying anybody. Who deleted Coop's message? Why did you delete it? Oh, my God. Better not cost us the $2. All right, Lone Wolf. Back again. Let me get to that last. Make sure I get Big D energy in there, too. Hopefully that helped explain things, but it's just CBA allows for franchise tags. I don't like them. I think it limits you in the end. Haven't been around for the last little bit. What are your thoughts on CFB 26? I've enjoyed CFB 26. I've liked it. It's different. As a guy that plays a lot with Miami of Ohio, like, you can tell the difference. Like, I think it's actually harder. I've done both dynasties here. I think it is harder playing as Miami of Ohio on All-American than playing as Texas on Heisman. Like, I think that the player skill gaps are so sizable that it is there. I have lost my last 2 user games. I have fumbled 4 times in 2 games. I fumbled on the opening kickoff. I was pissed. Because, like, how does that even happen? Never seen it. It happened last night, too. I was like, I'm holding R1 to cover up, and I fumble. I feel like they tweaked it on the last update. It's a college football game. I love it. I don't play Madden. I will keep playing CFB 26. From Sam. It changed on. Yeah, classic. I know, right as you were pushing it, too. Sam says, just wondering, could he retire then unretire to go to another team? No. When a player retires, the contractual rights stay with the Cowboys or with the team. Specifically to avoid that exact scenario you just mentioned. Like, that is how it works. Like, you can't just retire, be a free agent, unretire. Players, the team sticks with your rights. That's why Darren Waller had to be traded. Technically, that's why who was the Cardinals coach that went to the Bucs? That's why Bruce Arians actually had to be traded. It's like those rights stay. Your contract tolls. Like, you can't just retire for a year and go to be a free agent. There's no loophole on that front. So, good question, but no. In fact, the nuclear option exists of if Micah were to, like, leave camp, the Cowboys could put him on the reserve retired list, and then he's out for the year, which I think would just be like the nuclear option and would be a really bad thing for everybody involved. I think it'd be a really, really bad thing. So, good question, Sam, but I don't think that's what ends up happening. All right, the super chat menu, $20 for a shotty, $50 for a beer bong, $100, your name goes on the toaster. So there you go. $20 for a shotty, $50 for a beer bong, $100, your name goes on the toaster. We got plenty of shotties. We got plenty of beer bongs left, as I kind of, don't want to be sober for this stuff because it's not fun today. So get those super chats in, 20, 50, and 100 on today's live show. If you see the bots, type B to block them too, because they are highly annoying and frustrating and stupid. So 20, 50, and 100. You're going to have to manually line break it probably because the graphics just being stupid. I know it's being stupid. Or just go to the full one, I guess, potentially too. 20, 50, 100 on today's show. We'll block the bots if we see them because they're super annoying. All right. Will the Cowboys actually trade Micah Parsons? Y for yes, N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. Y or N. 70% say no. I think you guys are right. I don't think it happens, but we've reached the point where, like, you have to have it as a consideration. You can't just pretend that it's never going to happen. Everything's all water under the bridge. We can't do that now. We're not able to. It's not how it works. Ed Warder reports that, despite the public comments, Micah is not going to leave camp, and he'll just be there as a distraction because the Cowboys, for zero viable reason, have let it get there for no good reason. It's just stupid. All right, another question for you. Will the Cowboys pay someone else before Micah Parsons? Yes, no. If so, who? I would not rule this one out either. I will say phrase this. Similar to like the heads up on, hey, Micah trade request might be coming. Last I heard was they weren't actually close with the Cowboys and Tyler Smith. I know that one has been a popular theory. I remember yesterday when it was Tyler Smith's not hurt. He's getting paid. That's why he left practice. Really, guys? Really? That's just hopium, man. That's all that is. The knee was bothering him a little bit. I don't think it's that bad, but that's how it goes. Deron Bland has said they've had contract talks. I kind of feel like the Cowboys are kind of being forced and like, hey, now we got to talk to Micah's agent some. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. It's annoying. It's annoying that we're at this point, and it's silly. Like, I don't think we can just call it noise when like trade requests don't just happen for marketing. Like, money made. I would not be surprised if Mike is staying, but this is not a marketing tactic from the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I think that Micah gets paid. I think that deal gets done. I will not be surprised if and when it gets done. But, like, to just pretend that it's fine, it's all some grand conspiracy from the Cowboys to, like, drive attention, like, I think that's tinfoil hat fully. I think it's fine to think he stays, deal gets done, and also say this has not gone well. I don't think those two thoughts are mutually exclusive. This is not a good day. Like, it's messy and it is sloppy. There's no way around it. Chris B, good luck, Shoddy. Way to help your coach, Jones. I also agree with this. Like, Brian Schottenheimer has made such a big deal about the culture, about players supporting players. And I think the players have taken that message to heart. Osa's tweeted about it. CeeDee Lamb, DeMarvion Overshone, changed his profile picture. Wanye Thomas did. A lot of those top players who like actually use social media sometimes, like they have backed Micah. But I promise you, the whole point of the culture building and supporting each other that Shoddy was trying to do was not us against our front office. It was supposed to be us against the other team, us against the enemy. The enemy is not supposed to be Jerry and Stephen Jones. Like, I feel bad for Shoddy because guess who's going to have to answer questions tomorrow? It's not going to be the GM. It's going to be Brian Schottenheimer front and center having to put out fires.
My favorite video so far from camp hasn't even been a highlight of a play or anything. It was, I believe it came out yesterday when a fight almost started. And then you had a bunch of players actually jump in and stop the fight. Mm-hmm. And so to me, it was like, okay, them running the other day, Shoddy getting on their ass the other day, really did something. They didn't take it as, oh, this guy, yeah, he's, a lot of people take it as you can't, if you're the coach of an NFL team, you can't like yell at the players because they're making more than you. You hear that narrative a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, Shoddy's doing that and they're kind of respecting him for it. Mm-hmm. And it's something that this team hasn't had in how long? Somebody that's willing to put their foot down and say, hey, guys, there's a reason we haven't done anything. Everybody wants playoff success. in so long. It's because the culture here has been so bad. There's been no discipline, and there's been nobody to hold you guys accountable. And that's what he's trying to do now. Then you got this shit on top of it. It just definitely doesn't help him out. And I feel bad for him because this offseason, whether or not you agree that Shotty should have been the hire or not, or you hated the process, he's said and he has done a lot of really good things so far, I think.
Yeah. I'm firing off the tweet of just like the Micah trade request reaction video. It's messy and sloppy again somehow. Like, it's just like it's not – it never had to be anything remotely this way. Like, the Cowboys could have gotten ahead on a contract, and we all would have praised the Jones boys. Even if they had – again, I've said this so many times on videos. If you just pay early and are early in line instead of last in line, you'll save money. Like, you could have overpaid by a couple $1 million on the Justin Jefferson contract, and guess what would have happened 2 months later? You would have been not top 5. Like that. Or at least not top 3. It's just, it's poorly run. Again, we can believe that the Cowboys get this done in the end with Micah Parsons, not the end of the world. They pay him, everything caves. But we don't have to lie to ourselves and think this is anything but a bad thing. Because it's not a good thing. Like, this does not get here unless it's bad. Like, that's why we're at this point. Because feelings are hurt, frustration is boiled over, and the big picture outcomes are extremely negative. Extremely negative. We haven't even talked about the Trayvon Diggs somersault shit. Like, I did film a video on that this morning that I scrapped with the Micah report. Like, we haven't even talked about that. Of, like, how you've got almost 2 different camps of, like, what actually happened with Trayvon Diggs and his somersault. Of, like, one guy, Calvin Watkins said he fell. And then Todd Archer said, no, he just somersaulted over. And then we had the video of it. It's just like, it's all nonsense. Like, anything but football somehow with this team. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's annoying to me. William Cook, I feel bad for Shotty as well. He can't create a culture when the GM owners create such a bad culture. Culture trickles down. I don't think it's a trickle-up effect. Like, there could be some of it, but, like, culture comes from the top. It comes from the very top. The truest thing that Jalen Smith ever said was, if the owner ain't tripping, neither are we. He said that when the Cowboys were bad. They didn't care. They're undisciplined as a football team. Does anyone think the Jones boys have good discipline? Off the field? They sure as shit don't. Come on. We know that. We've seen the photos. Like, it all trickles down. And it just sends a bad level. Like, to have to overcome the opponents and your front office, like, that's too much. Like, I've asked this question before, because everyone makes it about the quarterback. I don't know if Mahomes does anything on this team. Like, I honestly don't. Sometimes there's just too much extra going on. There's too much. Maybe once. Not the sustained success he's had in KC. That's ownership, that's coaching, that's all of that. So, by the way, the Cowboys are going to sign Ly'el Collins.
That's right on.
Also, Matt Zenitz got the scoop on that one, of all people.
Matt Zenitz.
The college football guy got the scoop.
Yeah, what?
What do we do here? Let me think. We'll think about it. I don't know if full cut might be the play short.
Yeah.
Maybe just short.
Go full screen on it.
Want to do short on it?
Yeah.
Let's see. How's this video doing right now? You see how the actual video's doing? Oh, it's super hot. Yeah, let's just do a short on it and message Jackson. We'll do a short. So go ahead and build an L3 first, and I'll go to the other super chat that Chris B sent in. But yeah, Cowboys are bringing back Ly'el Collins for the 3rd time. How about that for news today? We'll just do a short on it. It's fine. I don't want to cuck the Micah story that's got way more juice. So Ly'el Collins is coming back to the Dallas Cowboys for the third time. This might be the most well-known camp body ever. Like that's got to be what it is. Like I can't think of a more well-known camp body name than Ly'el Collins. Just like they had to go get another offensive lineman. Like I'm not. It doesn't have anything to do with Micah as far as I'm concerned. But like, it's pretty funny that they're bringing back Collins again, who hasn't played a real snap since 2020. How silly that is. Oh, this team. Like they were gonna do the offensive line thing no matter what, but like, the timing is objectively funny. It's objectively funny. It's just. It's too funny. It's too funny. This team sometimes, man. This team sometimes. You know what we can do, Chris? We can do we'll do like a mailbag reaction cut here to go out tomorrow morning, and we can like throw on 2 minutes of Ly'el Collins at the front. I know short, yes, but then we'll do the other stuff later. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So, Ly'el Collins is returning to the Dallas Cowboys, which is just. It's really funny. It's really funny. It's just like, for a guy that, great example of like, they let their money get mad at him and they brought him back anyway. So, all right, let's do the short on it here, Chris. We'll do a quick 60 seconds and then come back to it. Dallas Cowboys news coming at you on the Cowboys Report. For the third time, Ly'el Collins is a member of the Dallas Cowboys. CBS Sports first to report that Collins is returning to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has a bunch of injuries they've battled along the offensive line, guys that won't be available for the preseason. So they bring back a familiar face to essentially be like the most well-known camp body ever. I don't think Collins has any real shot of making the 53 unless a bunch more injuries happen. Like, he hasn't played a real football game in 2022, but they bring back Dak's buddy and let him help survive the rest of the training camp and the preseason and maybe sticks around on the practice squad. But at age 32, I don't think we should expect a lot from Collins. At the Super Chat menu on today's show, $20 for a shotty, $50 for the beer bong, $100 your name goes on the toaster. Name on the toaster. This is Mr. Toaster. We brought him out for the Zeke Elliott starting. I was right about. Brian Schottenheimer hiring. Hope I'm wrong about. We'll see. That is the Super Chat menu on today's show. I think what we can do when we get to the mailbag in a little bit, I think that L3 is essentially built. I'll kind of throw it in the doc, Chris, and just like this, and this of like what we have available. That I think is in there. You might have to move some stuff around, but I'll put it in the script for us. So I'll do that here in a minute. So get your Super Chats in, 20, 50, and 100. By the way, because I see Popper Top saying it, if you missed the live show, we did already post the entire news update on the Micah Parsons contract situation. That is available on demand on the channel. It is up. It is out. I got a push for it too, which is kind of shocking. I didn't think I was going to get a push for that video. That's nice. That is the official trade request. Not that dissimilar from the video we did today that was the considering trade request because this is not a huge surprise for some people who have been plugged into the situation, but it's still not exactly a good thing either. All right, $20 a shotty from Raider Shield family. And I see Mitch and Shug sent you over. Thank you, my friend. Hit the shot. Add this to Jerry's pocket to stop being a dumbass and re-sign your best players, for fuck's sake. Jerry and Steven are like Tom and Jerry, like the effing cartoon. Pay that MFR turmoil, not worth a few bucks in the preseason. See? He's not even a Cowboys fan, and he gets it. He gets it. It just looks bad for the entire Cowboys organization. Like, it's just the poorly run Cowboys franchise continues to find ways and just make stuff happen in the end. So, which, by the way, this is actually, I think about this now, on the Ly'el Collins side, This is the second time Ly'el Collins has got a contract from the Cowboys while a better player was having contract drama. Because he got signed when Zeke Elliott was holding out. What a world we live in, man. What a world we live in. All right, we will have a mailbag coming up here in a little bit. 2 ways to get in on the show. You can use hashtag Cowboys or skip the line altogether via Super Chat. That's hashtag Cowboys or skip the line altogether via Super Chat. Let me do this. There we go. All right. Hashtag Cowboys, Super Chat, all together here on the show. I think we got enough. I think we got plenty of people. Plenty of stuff there. It's been a not fun not quite 24 hours, like 12 hours, give or take, of like when the first stuff. Wait, that can't be right. Yeah, 24 hours. 24 hours. Yeah, not 4 a.m. That stuff was last night, too. Get your questions in. Hashtag Cowboys, skip the line all together via Super Chat. Again, we have multiple news items today. Let me update the live show title too. Micah Parsons officially requests trade from the Cowboys, plus Ly'el Collins returns, which is I'm not surprised they were doing the offensive line stuff. It's just kind of funny, like the timing of it all. It's just kind of funny. Get your questions in via hashtag Cowboys. Skip the line all together via Super Chat. I think most of those things should be built, by the way, Chris. Might need some reorganization, but that's what it is. So get your questions in. Hashtag Cowboys. Skip the line all together via Super Chat. What we will do is hit the Ly'el Collins news and also go into some of the mailbag stuff. And maybe I'll push it out tonight. I haven't decided yet what the timing looks like. It's just kind of weird. I'm going to put my fan on, though, because I'm a little bit hot in the studio today. We'll see about the timing. It'll go at some point soon. Maybe we just say F them pushes, F them noties, and just go hard with the news today. In the meantime, get those questions in via hashtag Cowboys or Super Chat on the show. That's okay. That's whatever. Get them in. We had a lot of mailbags as well, or a lot of Super Chats that came in too. I think the good ones you can definitely feel free to hit. We'll make this very reaction oriented to all the stuff that has gone on in the last couple of hours around the Dallas Cowboys. If you're just now tuning in, a reminder, top and bottom have the news. Micah Parsons officially requesting a trade from the Dallas Cowboys earlier this afternoon, saying the negotiations have not gone well. He essentially feels disrespected by the team, and he wants to get paid, and it just is not going well. And Ly'el Collins is back with the Dallas Cowboys for the third time. The third different stint for Ly'el Collins as what amounts to a camp body signing by Dallas, which is fairly unusual. I don't think the NFL transaction wire has hit yet. I'll go check that right now to see if we have the details on what the other workouts were. I know they worked out at least 2 offensive linemen today. Let me see if I can find it here. Check the transaction wire. But Ly'el Collins, a member of the Cowboys once more, and Micah Parsons is having some issues on that front with not getting paid, and this one just turning super, super messy for absolutely no reason in a way it did not need to. And then Collins gets to come back for the third time in his career. It's technically like his 4th contract thing with the Cowboys, because it was the rookie contract. It was the extension contract. It was the second time brought back as a practice squad player. And then now this third time where he is, I assume, going to get $0 guaranteed to come hang out and reunite with Dak Prescott and essentially be a camp body. Rest of the transaction is not known yet, by the way. So I have not gotten the full video there, or the full workout list. So get your questions in via hashtag Cowboys. Skip the line all together via Super Chat. As soon as Chris is all set, yeah, all in one video. Yeah. So we'll kind of like 3-ish minutes on Collins and then just get to the rest of the stuff. You can hit sub twice instead of the sponsor. Don't need one of those today. So get them in. Hashtag Cowboys. Skip the line all together via Super Chat as we continue to go through a whirlwind day around the Dallas Cowboys. More news for the Cowboys. This one might go over a bit better than the Micah Parsons trade request, as we're live right now on the Cowboys Report breaking down that. Ly'el Collins is signing with the Dallas Cowboys again amid multiple different offensive line injuries as the Cowboys turn back to a familiar face. Maybe not the one we were expecting with like a Stephon Gilmore, for example, but the Cowboys going out and adding some help along the offensive line in a familiar face on what I kind of think just amounts to a camp body in the end. I don't think we should actually have high expectations of Ly'el Collins in the same way we probably shouldn't have high expectations for the, Christian Matthews signing. Cowboys got a lot of banged up offensive linemen. Tyler Guyton's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Rob Jones out 2 to 3 months. We'll see how long the newest injured guys, Matt Waletzko with an ankle, Hakeem Adeniji on the right side with a concussion, Tyler Smith with a knee, how long those guys stay banged up. But that's a third of the offensive linemen who are unavailable at this moment. This is, by the way, it's the third time he's been a Cowboy, which is kind of surprising. He's had as many with the Cowboys as other teams combined now. Began his career in Dallas after going undrafted with the unusual saga there. The Bengals picked him up for a couple years, got hurt, got released. Cowboys brought him in for literally 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks at the end of the year. Did not come back. Bills picked him up for an offseason, did not make the team. Ly'el Collins has not played a real snap of football since the 2022 season wrapped up. It was a lot of injured times there for Ly'el Collins. It has been several years since he has been out there playing and an impactful piece for any NFL team. He was there for part of 2023, but got cut after that first year in Cincinnati. It's been a long time since he has played. Cowboys have not yet announced a corresponding roster move to make room for Ly'el Collins. I think we'll get one soon enough. Don't know what that's going to be. We shall see. So current offensive line depth chart, and given the timing today, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get that corresponding move done until tomorrow. There is some flexibility of timing on that front. But with some banged up guys, Cowboys bringing in Ly'el Collins to at least give them some depth and some options along a very, very banged up offensive line. With, you're not going to play like Smith and Beebe and Steele in the preseason, so needed some guys to get through that. Predictions, the pinned comment on today's show. Will Ly'el Collins make the team? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know at the pinned comment of today's show, and then we'll dive into the Micah Parsons reaction mailbag. First up from Massive Matt, $10. Why would any player want to play for this team? I refuse to believe all of this isn't a satirical show for the media. I'm afraid this team will be a clown show as long as the Jones boys are there. Look, this isn't a satirical show for the media. It's not. Because the narrative was, the news is fake. Micah wasn't considering a trade. And then it was, okay, well, it's not a real trade request. And then it's, well, the trade request does not matter. It's the liar's prayer, whatever it is. It's just real. Doesn't mean it's not going to end fine in the end. And they don't find a way to make it all better and kiss and make up, whatnot. But this is bad. Like, this is not how a good team ends up running its organization when it's so consistently like this. James Taylor, the best talent we've had in decades, and we can't get him paid. A top talent in the entire league, and we can't get him paid. The Jones are the equivalent to an Angel Reese airball. Don't know why Angel's taking shots today, but whatever. Look, this is poorly run. Like, Mike has tried to get paid, and for whatever reason, the Jones boys let their ego and feelings get in the way, and now the feelings are back with Mike, and it's just all messy for no valid reason. Vincent, this is an organizational issue, plain and simple. This is how they end up paying so much for Dak. I think they just want the headlines. So I agree with the general message here. Like, the likely outcome here, I think not guaranteed or even like 70% or something, but like likely, most likely, plurality if you want, is, okay, they cave. Like, they make up with Micah. But the cost for Micah is surely not the team-friendly deal he told them he wanted to sign in the first place. Clearly, we're past that point. So all they've done is have to pay more. When I complain about letting Myles Garrett get signed first, when I complain about letting T.J. Watt get signed first, when I bring up the Cowboys are bad at contracts, this shit is why. Stuff like today is why. They failed. And like, the best case scenario, right, is Jerry calls Micah. They kiss and make up, so to speak. The divorce gets called off, and they end up giving the agent everything that he wants, which is exactly what happened with Dak Prescott. It's what happened with Amari Cooper. Like, they F around, and they find out. And then they cry, oh, help us, we're poor. Like, seriously? We have to do that stuff? It's poorly run. It's a poorly run organization, and we don't have to pretend otherwise. So will the Cowboys actually trade Micah Parsons? I think no, but the door's open now. Y for yes, N for no. John Galt, 23, so are the Cowboys really fraudulent or fraudulent and delusional? If the Cowboys and the Jones boys actually believed that they would be able to negotiate and finalize the Micah Parsons contract without going through David Mulugheta, one of the biggest agents in football, then they are delusional, and they are dumber than I thought they were. Because that was never going to happen. We said that months ago when the secret meeting first got leaked. Hey, you're not going to get this deal done. You're going to have to go through the agent. You got to play nice with the agent. They haven't returned his calls. I bet that changed today. I bet today it did. But it's still a bad process. Delta 704, does this change from a hold in to a hold out now? I don't think so. Ed Warder has reported, and we'll find out what happens Saturday when camp is available to everybody, that Micah will not be holding out. And that does bring up the nuclear option here of the way the NFL CBA, I'll call it, the rules work is the player leaves the team during camp or the season for unexcused reasons, like birth of your kid does not count, right? He has 5 days to return. If he doesn't return, the team can place the player on the reserve list as a retired player. Under that circumstance, that scenario, player cannot play again this year for any team. The contract gets told. So we're in the exact same spot next year where Micah's on his 5th-year option, which is the worst-case outcome for everybody involved because at that point, you've probably napalmed the bridge 5 times over. And that's the nuclear option for a reason. It's not going to end well for anybody involved. I don't think we're at that point, but that's the option that would be available. We'll keep you covered on everything going on with the Micah Parsons contract situation. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. $5, Hunter M. Tom, what could we realistically get him now that he wants the public is out? Is it true the big three make up 40 to 50% of the cap? Let me pull up the exact cap figures so I can give you the exact nitty-gritty details there. I think it was the Jones boys who had claimed that it was like 80% or 70% of Dak and Lamb and Micah were paying that. Let me make sure I got the exact numbers right with down to like the exact percentage and everything there, because I don't want to confuse people. So you got to give me a second to Google and do math and everything on that front. Let me do the math here. Oh, by the way, of note, also worth mentioning, CeeDee Lamb actually does not have the second most or the third most contract. He's actually fourth in terms of the cap hit on that front. So no, as of right now, on the massive amount of salary cap the NFL has these days, the cap hit combination for Dak, Lamb, and Micah is currently 89%. The salary cap, or $89 million. The salary cap is $279. So it's not close to 40 to 50%. My guess with how that number gets thrown around is they're trying to count the average per year figure, which isn't fair because that's not what it is on the actual cap. But no, it is not. It is not 40 to 50% of the salary cap. That's just not how the math ends up working. It's not even really close to that. It's maybe a third. I'm doing quick math here. It's less than a third. And if you pay Micah this year, the number actually goes down to like 70 million or maybe 75 at this point. Like it's not close to that. The Cowboys will try to trick you, but that's not how it is. Elijah, if the Cowboys trade Micah, we raid the yacht. I almost went to Google where the yacht is, but I feel like legally I should not do that today. So, Mark, Jerry Jones signs Dak to record highest paid NFL player, 100% guaranteed contract. How do you not sign a top 3 player in the league? Joneses are idiots. Yeah. Like, that's how it goes. Like, you're on the verge of doing the exact same thing where, like, you just dragged out the Dak contract and then caved and gave them everything instead of actually being proactive. You're doing the exact same thing you're doing right now with Micah. And the way this probably ends up ending is you apologize to Micah, you get it done, and you pay him more than you would have paid him if you had been proactive 3 months ago. That's what's frustrating. NJ Fresh, which happens first? Micah gets signed or traded, or does Diggs get released or traded? I think Micah culmination happens first because I don't think the Diggs stuff happens until next offseason. So I think the answer on Micah comes in first on that front. John Galt, what happens first? Micah gets traded or George Pickens gets suspended. Can I pick none happen first? Extremely valid question, I suppose. By the way, I'll mention this too. You guys know they have the same agent, right? You guys know it's David Mulugheta for both guys. Whatever the nonsense you're pulling with Micah Parsons is going to directly impact how your negotiations with George Pickens go. That's how it's going to go. Mark overpays an above-average QB, holds out paying true NFL stars like Lamb and Parsons, all while annoying the star players and getting Diggs mad. But remember, they did the exact same thing with Dak first. They could have been early on Micah. They could have been early on Lamb. They did not. And the end result is they get to cry poor because they're just bad at doing contracts. They're just not good at it. We don't have to pretend otherwise. And I know you're certainly not, Mark. You're right in your complaints. It's just dumb that we're here. In the end, what do you think the Cowboys do with Micah Parsons? P for pay, T for trade, W for they wait a little bit longer. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Jedi Master Colton 011. I'm thinking we trade Micah to a borderline playoff team for a solid young defensive player and 2 firsts. That now becomes a playoff team. So now you're 2 firsts or later. I think like the rough ask is pretty reasonable. I don't know who that is though. And also who is the young defensive player, the solid young player. If they're a borderline playoff team, they actually probably want to keep the solid young player. So that's how this gets so complicated so quickly. Unless it's like a young edge and they upgrade. But at that point, how bad is the edge to justify 2 first-round pick upgrade? That's the problem you're going to face here. From Cowboy fan, how much can we get for trading Micah? I do think, and I think at this point I have to do a video on this tomorrow for it, like 2 firsts and change, I think is a realistic ask. I think that is a realistic goal. The Herschel Walker trade is not realistic. That is never going to happen again. We don't have to pretend it's going to ever happen again. But I do think 2 firsts and change is semi-fair, semi-realistic to hope to aim for if you decided to trade away Micah, which I'm still not convinced they end up doing. All right, the Super Chat menu on today's show. I'm going to update the tracker here as well, so stay tuned on that front. I got a couple of Super Chats I want to make sure we're caught up on for the $5 Pickens raffle entry, which doesn't feel as fun now, does it? Doesn't feel quite as fun. $20, I will do a shotty. It's the Brian Schottenheimer drink, and I do feel bad for Schottenheimer because he gets to face the media tomorrow and answer all the questions about Micah and what's going to happen next, even though it shouldn't really be his job. Like, they're going to ask him, and he's probably just going to have to say we support Micah, which also implies you don't support your ownership group. It's like there's nothing he can say that's going to be quite the way it wants it to be. So $20 for a shotty, $50 for the beer bong, $100. Your name goes on Mr. Toaster. And we got you covered on that front. We've got plenty of beer bongs left. We got plenty of shotties left if you guys want to get crazy with it. As long as the super chats are coming in, I am authorized to stay live. But if they stop, it's probably time to wind things down and continue working on other things that we can do here. Get to that other Cowboys cut for tomorrow probably. So get your questions in. Hashtag Cowboys. Skip the line altogether via Super Chat. And we'll put 2-ish minutes, I'd say, on the clock here. If the supers keep coming in, we'll stay live. Otherwise, we'll sign off and get to the rest of the show. Mark says this, and now we will start that 2-minute timer. We are a mess. We want to run but invest a 5th and a 6th and 2 has-been backs. Need a DT and got 2 late rounders. Now we piss off our star defensive player. All the goodwill you did of, like, adding a receiver to go trade for George Pickens, building a pretty decent coaching staff under Ryan Schottenheimer, having some hope about guys like Donovan Ezieruaku, Kaiir Elam looking kind of good. All of that goes out the window now because your best player, your free square player, is just gone. He's asking for a trade. It takes away all the goodwill so much. Like it's like the balloon got popped. Even if and when the Cowboys end up working out the long-term deal with Micah Parsons and things get better, it gets messy and it's so unnecessary. Like there's plenty of times that the star player asks for a trade and does not get traded. But the fact that it's gotten to this point is not good. It's not. Troy Daniels, $10 super chat. Hello, Tom. Have you heard anything about Ly'el Collins' workout today? If you missed it, Troy, the short, I believe, is up on the channel now. But they did sign Ly'el Collins. I have not seen the corresponding transaction. I don't know if we're going to get that today. We have the transaction wire. Let me see if that's in there. Dallas has not officially signed or waived anybody. The other player that they worked out was Jerron Christian, by the way. So I'll get a tweet out on that here. Other player. Other offensive linemen the Cowboys worked out today. So they signed Ly'el Collins. No corresponding move today. They'll make that tomorrow. Jerron Christian was the other workout today for the Cowboys. They picked Ly'el Collins instead. But Collins is a member of the Cowboys. All right, Mark, $5 super chats. We'll put you again into that jersey raffle. A new coach does not need these distractions. The worst part is we have to watch those two idiots and their smug smiles pat each other on the back. I am ill, Tom. I agree. It's just dumb. What really bothered me, that press conference, I guess I didn't do a shoddy that I owed for somebody. I've done it twice today. It's like I looked down and the shot glass is full. You guys got to call me out on that. Tell me I'm not doing my job. Is at that press conference, Jerry was like, well, just because you signed someone doesn't mean they're going to be healthy. As if, no one had ever thought of injuries in their life. It was brand new information of, just because we pay them doesn't mean they're going to be there. Might get hurt. What? As if it was new information. Stupid. And then they'll claim victory somehow when it's this has clearly been a bad process. Clearly has been. All right, Brett Van Alstyne. Alstain, if you're going to pronounce it. Sorry, Brett. You can see the players respect Jerry, not Steven. Yeah, which is a problem because Jerry's old and Steven is next in charge. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's actually a probably pretty damn concerning thing. That's pretty concerning. Hunter M. Trade Micah for 2 1s. Our missing third in 2026. Draft replace Micah with one of the first. Trade Diggs for 2 seconds. I'm going to stop you there. You're not getting 2 2s for Diggs. There's no way. No one is trading anything of note right now for injured Trayvon Diggs. That's just not going to end up happening. The Micah value is fine, I think. I think that's on the higher end of realistic, but it's there. And he says bag 2 seconds or get DT, wide receiver, corner replacements. This, even if you could get two twos for Diggs, whatever, the edge you get is not better than Micah Parsons. There's no chance of that. No realistic chance. The corner healthy is probably a big factor there with Diggs, but you're getting later round picks next year. Don't help you this year, and you're just kind of wasting another year of your window with your current high-paid quarterback. It's not good. It's just not good. What would you take in a trade for Micah Parsons? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. What would you take in a trade for Micah Parsons? I think the realistic ask is the Khalil Mack trade, the Jalen Ramsey trade, 2 firsts and maybe some change. The first Jalen Ramsey trade, not the other 2 Jalen Ramsey trades, which were very unique deals. What would you take? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. We are caught up on these. Well, not on that one there. We got one more from Mark, and then we will get the timer started again. As long as Super Chats come in, we will stay live. Otherwise, time for us to sign off and call today, and I guess I'll do trade destinations for Micah. Crank out that video. I'm sure the wife is going to love the fact that we got family in town. Yeah, I got to work late tonight again. Work late last night. Whatever. Thanks, Jerry and Steven. Mark, 2 minutes on the clock now. Super Chats come in. We'll stay live. Years back, I went with Colin Williams' wife before marriage. LOL. She said Jones treat their guys horribly, and he was happy to leave. I believe her. Depends on who you are. Jerry treats Micah pretty well until this last couple weeks, which is, I think, why Micah has been so upset and disappointed because he thought that they had a really good relationship, and Micah thought this contract was going to be different. That this time there wasn't going to be a bunch of drama, and he has to wait until the day before the year or the day of to get a new contract. He thought it was going to be different this time. The Cowboys seemed to think that this time they could go around the agent, which was delusional, frankly, on both sides, just with the reality of how everyone operates. Romo was treated great by the Cowboys. Others have been treated great by the Cowboys. I mean, Jerry still talks about Emmitt Smith to this day. Still talks about him, which is probably an issue too. But not everyone. If you have not already, hit that sub button at youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Free Cowboys videos each and every single day right here on the channel. We have you covered on the everything. We will have a video up in the not-too-distant future on the Ly'el Collins signing and some more Micah Parsons reaction fallout from you guys. 30 seconds left. If these supers come in, we will stay live. Otherwise, we'll sign off, do another video, and put that out tomorrow before camp. And I don't know what the push notification game is going to look like tomorrow. It's a mess at this point. It is what it is. I'll push it out when I push it out, I guess. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV for more free Cowboys videos. Mark at the buzzer with one more. Does also put him into third place on the top fans. We didn't really do the top fan game today because we're just getting quick there. Dwayne is going to win with his 50-piece. Appreciate that. Mark, $5 will put a minute and a half on the timer now. Bottom line, if the going rate for a QB is what paid Dak, then you do the real going rate for a real star player. I am still ill. Spot the lie. Spot it. Like you held a gentleman's agreement, you thought, against Micah and like let it get this bad? Like why? Why? Like the Cowboys at some point have to like either they have to change something about their negotiation stuff. Because the plan of being we'll cave at the end is stupid. Because that is how everyone feels like around the NFL about the Cowboys. They'll pay him in the end. They'll cave. They always cave. They caved on Lamb. They caved on Dak twice. They caved on DeMarcus Lawrence. They actually got the deal done with Amari Cooper after he hit free agency. Like, it's just, it's always the same shit with them. And I think in the end they do cave. But we've reached the point where we have the superstar, best player on the team, actually asking for a trade. Like, that's bad. That's really bad. It's just not, it's not ever how you want things to go. That is it for today's live show. Appreciate everyone who tuned in here on the Cowboys Report. We will have the Ly'el Collins reaction from you guys up on the channel, hour-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. Well, I got to do all the post-prod for it and build another show too today. It's been a day. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. It's like a 2.5-hour therapy session. Back live again on Monday. Maybe again if more chaos happens. We'll see you guys then.